From JA to UK to LA and everywhere else now, this is a podcast strictly influenced by Jamaican music, brought to you by Eric Kohler and Junor Francis. Well, if you're driving in your car or you're sitting home alone, the Junior entertain you on his microphone with the history of LA Ska. Yeah, hear stories from a guest while we all have a blast. From LA to Jamaica, it's in the podcast. The history of LA Ska. Of LA Ska, yeah. It's the history. Yes, it is. Of LA Ska. History of LA Ska, yeah. It's the history. Yes, it is. Of LA Ska. Of LA Ska. It's the history of LA Ska. One more time, yeah. It's the history of LA Ska.
Welcome to the History of LA Ska one-on-one sessions. I'm Junor Francis, your host, alongside our good friend, or my good friend, Eric Kohler. This series celebrates the ska, rocksteady, and vintage reggae scene in Southern California and beyond through insightful conversation with legends and a lot of talents working behind the scenes. So whether you listen to this podcast series or watch us on YouTube, we want to thank you abundantly. Thank you everlastingly. And please remember to subscribe, comment, share with a friend. On this episode, we welcome the talented trio known as the Reggae Workers of the world. I tell you, New York-based Vic Ruggiero of the Slackers, world-famous Slackers. Southern California's own domestically grown and harvested Jesse Wags, the Barbara Wagner, the Aggrolites. And last but definitely not least, just as important, Belgium-based Nico Leonard of the Moon Invaders, the Utopians, and the band Badasonic.
That's right.
Badasonic Records. Yes,
Welcome,
gentlemen, and Eric Kohler, welcome.
Yes, thank you, Junior. Thanks, guys. Nico, Jesse, and of course, Vic. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy recording. And I think you just finished doing some tour dates, which we're going to talk about. So thanks, guys, for joining. Jesse, you were our guest on episode 16 back in May 2021. We encourage everyone to come check that out. I'm purposely not wearing a hat today as an infomercial, Jesse, for you, since I see you at least once a month. So
You haven't cheated on me yet, huh?
no, I'm not cheating. I'm waiting for you to return.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. But guys, no, thank you very much, Vic. We've been wanting to have you as a guest for some time, so this is wonderful. All right, so question regarding the Reggae Workers of the world. You guys just finished, I think, 4 European shows, if I'm not mistaken. Where were they and how did they go?
Well, I can't say the names of the cities that well.
Nico, how about you?
We were in, where did we start?
We started Mechelen.
In Mechelen. So 2 shows in Belgium. One was near Antwerp in a small city called Mechelen. And then another was in the countryside, which was really nice. And then we played in Aachen in Germany. And then the last show was in Hilversum in Netherlands at this cool little punk club.
Nice.
And yeah, just 4 days, just a long weekend, having fun, going out, doing some things.
Yeah, I saw some of the footage. It seemed nice. And now you're recording.
Yeah, it's a fun band to play with. It's a fun bunch to play with.
I bet.
Indeed, I'm sure it is. Junior.
Yes. So let me ask, how and when you guys formed the trio, how that came about? And sadly and regrettably, I've never heard of the trio before. That's embarrassing, but
No, that's okay. We play mostly out
it's
here.
not okay. I should know.
Oh. Shame on you.
We
I should be
So
chastised.
I know these guys obviously from different bands and playing with different groups and whatever. And there was one summer, I guess, or whatever it was one season where I think the Aggrolites were kind of not doing too much. And the Moon Invaders had broken up or had taken time off. And I thought, these 2 guys are some of my favorite musicians. And I thought I'd really be I'd really be dumb if I didn't ask them both to play in a group together because I knew they had time.
Yes.
So I said, okay, come on, let's do this. And and then we made a couple of records. And then this time it was these guys that were like, hey, Vic, we're going to do another record. And I was like, all right, you guys want another record? Let's do it. Let's go.
So if you had to pinpoint around what year was that?
The first one?
About 2014.
Oh,
2014.
So that's just a decade now.
Yeah, 11 or so years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you guys played the States or just Europe?
Very little bit. We played in Chicago.
Oh, you have
We
played the
in the
States.
West. We never did we finally got out to the West Coast playing with the Bandulus.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
this last year, right?
We did a version of the Reggae Workers. We played like 5 songs or 6 songs with their set
Yes.
because both me and Jesse were on the tour together.
Right.
So we figured, okay, we can do the songs.
Yes.
And that
Yeah, they had Nico out playing drums for them.
I saw the House of Blues Anaheim. That was nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
So it was a real nice opportunity. And the fact that the Bandulus had extra guys, so it could be more than just the 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
They have 3 other guys that can sing harmonies. I got to play just keyboard. They were a good band. And Nico has been working with the Bandulus, making records with them. They've been out here working with the Badasonic label. And so it's cool. It all made sense. It was all like, this is a really smooth idea. We got,
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice.
Rick, you're from Bay Ridge area in Brooklyn?
No, I'm from the Bronx. It's where my accent.
I hear that New York accent, boy.
Yeah, Bay Ridge rolls too deep for me.
Junior, when you were living in New York, where were you living?
Brooklyn.
All
But
right.
I used to drive taxi, so I'm all over the city. So I kind of have a good sense of the city itself. Taxi get you around.
Indeed.
Yeah, Bay Ridge is way out there.
Yeah.
Hey, tell Junior about your plumber.
Oh, yeah. So it turns out, what's it called? Earth and...
I forgot the name of the group, but Junior might know.
So guy's doing some work on my apartment.
Yeah.
And he tells me that his father sang in a band that was on Channel 1.
Wow.
From 1971 or something?
1971.
1971. But we didn't know. So yesterday, Vic's like, yeah, this guy, it's the plumber is the guy. And we're looking at the picture that they send to Vic of the guy. And he looks like he can't be over 40. We're like, this guy looks way too young to be on Channel 1. But then again, we're like, maybe he just looks young. He isn't.
I mean, Junior looks like he's in his 40s. So.
Well, that's what I said. I said, wait till you see Junior tomorrow. He looks like he's in his 20s.
Yeah, well, like, hey, he's Jamaican.
My body's saying otherwise. My body's saying otherwise.
That's crazy. What a small world. Yeah.
It turns out it's the guy's dad. But
it's a group called Earth and Stone.
Oh yes, man. The Roots group.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're Roots group. Right.
That's wild.
The song is really good.
They have a couple of songs.
Jailhouse Set Me Free.
Jailhouse Set Me Free, and it's
yes, that's their biggest hit, I think. It's on a Channel 1 compilation.
Right. Wow.
Okay.
That's super cool.
Small world.
Small world indeed.
Yeah, small world.
Yeah.
In New York, you can't get away from the reggae. There's always some reggae hiding out somewhere.
Yes.
It's true. It's true. The connections are sometimes random too. Vic.
You know when it's your plumber.
Yeah. So, Vic, talk about what did you do prior to the Slackers?
I was
what was life like prior to that? Wait, what was that? What?
He said I was a little kid.
That's all I did. I just was a jerk up until I started the Slackers. And then fell into the Slackers, I remained a jerk. Huh?
Were the Slackers the first real group that you were with?
Yeah, I mean, I played in groups in high school. Nothing serious. We had a punk band. I mean, I have a punk band that still goes from high school. That's fun. But no, the Slackers were the first serious get out and play gigs. Because I used to play with all these bands that they just wanted to rehearse in the garage or the basement. and they never wanted to go out and play shows. And I was like, look, I'm tired of rehearsing.
Right.
I'm ready to go play the gigs. So I got a couple of the guys from different bands that I played with, and I found the guys that really wanted to go play shows. And I said, come with me. We're going to go play gigs. I got the gigs. Let's do it. And ever since then, I never looked back. That's it.
Wow.
Right.
So what year did the journey with the Slackers start?
Well, we always say 1991, even though I do believe we were gigging the year before that in 90, but we just didn't have the name the Slackers yet. We hadn't figured ourselves out as a group yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It was a lot of people coming and going, and but it was always we had me and the bass player Marcus, and we had a different drummer, but he stayed with us for about 10 years.
Okay, a long time,
way back.
Yeah,
right.
Nice.
So Vic, the Slackers sound is not your typical ska or reggae sound. It's self-described as Jamaican rock and roll, which I think probably pretty much describes it. Talk about how the Slackers sound may have evolved over the past 3 decades or 3.5 decades.
Yeah, at least 35 decades. We always wanted to play old boogie woogie kind of blues and blue beat kind of stuff, and I always heard the connection between R&B, New Orleans music, and doo-wop. And when you hang out with the reggae musicians, especially the older guys, they all love doo-wop. They all know the New Orleans stuff. So the Slackers kind of always kept our sound like always touching those kind of things, And that's my style too, is songwriting and singing. But that's also, this is why me and Jesse get along, because when it comes to the doo-wop and New Orleans and all that stuff, and Nico too, it's we're all fans of that stuff. So
so I guess that helps to eliminate the fist fights on the road. Band members get into fist fight. Sometimes serious fist fight.
Yeah, well, you got to keep it cool in your band.
Yes, yes, sir.
It's true. It's true.
Nice.
Yes. And Vic, so the Slackers have written, and clearly, as you mentioned, as a songwriter, you've written as well, but recorded songs of various themes, including political and social type themes. How important is it to you, especially in today's climate, to zero in on that style? And then, do you ever hear fans say, "Stop, shut up and play music, and stop talking about politics"?
Oh yeah. And then I tell them, I say, go listen to some calypso. I say, go listen to some ska. Oh, go listen to some reggae. What the hell do you think they're singing about?
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean? What are we on? I'm sure there's songs about dancing, but I mean, the songs were about everything. Calypso was the news.
Yes.
So we stick to that tradition, reggae and ska and all the vibes that we got.
Right. So any particular area you get pushback?
Not any particular area. Every once in a while. One time I was in Florida and I got mad because, they were trying to, they were criticizing me. And I woke up the next morning and I made a list of every political song that the Slackers ever sang. Or social or whatever. Just kind of like, And I was like, guys, if you don't know it by now, you ain't paying attention, But it's like anything, it's like try to tell any reggae band what to sing about. It's music that you can write you write topics in reggae, or like you can sing about anything.
Yeah.
I think being from New York, in a sense, influenced your songwriting, especially when it comes to political and social issue.
Well, I came out of the punk scene. That's where I found.
Yes.
The first time I saw ska bands and reggae bands, I was coming out of the punk scene. But even the punk scene was a lot about partying. Basically, they used to just sing about getting drunk and going dancing and stuff, But yeah, I was attracted to it. And then I heard the two-tone bands and I thought, wow, this is really cool. Like they're talking about, stuff that we're thinking about. And the 90s, got to remember, the 90s were tense.
Yeah.
Especially in New York, California, right? I mean, 90s were tense. We had racial tension.
Oh, yes.
And to see groups that were black and white guys playing together, and especially in the scenes in New York and California, Latinos, blacks, whites, Asians. I mean, I didn't know a white skinhead, until maybe there were two in New York. Everybody was Filipino, Puerto Rican, black, whatever. It was like, I didn't even know that there was, until we saw the Geraldo show. I didn't know that that there was racist skinheads. We just, I was like, oh, it's weird ska kids that shave their head, dressed with suspenders.
Yeah, the movement, the skinhead movement in England was infiltrated and deliberately tried to weaken it and separate because it was going too strong. Mm-hmm.
But I loved the scene in New York, and I think California can say the same thing. That we were always in a scene that was about diversity and about embracing everybody and meeting different cultures, and it was cool. I mean, reggae and ska is like the best when it comes to that.
Indeed.
Before Eric jump in with his next question, the Slackers continue to be one of the hardest working bands on the scene. Approximately how many shows you're doing in any given year, and whether the band.
We do 3 months on. We do 3 months on and 3 months off. That's what we do every year.
Oh.
And in those 3 months, we probably play, I don't know, two out of the 3 months are busy. So I figure if it's
so what's the idea behind that?
We probably do 100 plus gigs a year.
Wow. You did more than that at one time, though.
Yeah, and then myself, I do all the gigs in between. And so then I meet up with Jesse, I meet up with Nico, I meet up with Peppy, Gooley, you name it, the Mooks.
The workaholic is
right. So 100 with the Slackers, 100 with the Slackers, and how many you think solo?
Yeah, probably do another 100.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm a crazy person. I find my peace on the road, and actually, like when we get together, and I know that Jesse said the same thing before, but when we get together to do these recordings, sometimes I think, well, why don't I just do this all the time? Like, this is my happy place. When I'm down there in the basement with you writing songs and we're playing and we're writing grooves, like today, coming up with a groove.
Well, the fun thing about this group is everybody's got their own band.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that we can't do with those bands. There's the niche or whatever you want to call it. It's
give me a fun.
So this band is kind of like the outlet of other things that we never get to do. Like today, we're writing a song that sounds like a two-tone kind of song, and then the other night, that song was like more of a calypso vibe, and then another night was more. Yeah, and the funny thing is, this is the third album we're working on. We got two other ones that came out, and if you listen to them, it's not all just reggae and ska.
No,
and even though the band is called Reggae Workers of the World, it's 50-50, I guess, or less.
It's just because we're reggae workers,
Yeah, that is our time. Whose idea was that? Was that your idea or
I think
Nico?
it was Nico's idea.
Nico, is your idea?
Yeah, that's right. Well, because Nico's a good union guy, so he said, "Hey, we should do something like it's a union."
Nice.
So we're all music workers. We're all reggae workers.
Right.
And he said, something like the IWW, right? And
right.
It's like international, industrial workers of the world. We're like, oh, we're reggae workers of the world.
No, certainly clever. Yes, but very diverse sounds. I mean, Vic, I think is it every once in a while that sounds, very Stones-esque, right? Is that the tune? I think?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, no, for sure.
There's so many influences and so many different things that we all take from, like,
totally.
One of the songs is kind of inspired by like the Dave Clark 5, and another one song kind of has like a zombies thing, and it's all over the place, man.
Let me get
now I'm working on a Springsteen one.
Yeah, but back to reggae and ska, that's another thing, and calypso too. But especially the reggae and ska is that there's so much grabbing from different musical styles.
Sure, absolutely.
And different songs that come from everywhere. They could be Cuban songs. They could be songs, a folk song from England. It could be classical music.
For sure.
And it's like, so why did they stop doing that? It seemed like instead of becoming parochial about it, like we try to keep the spirit of, like, ingenuity, like,
Right.
It's funny. I had a buddy that came in for a haircut about a few days before I came out here, and he's like, well, I told him, I was like, I'm going to be heading out to Belgium to record a new record with Reggae Workers of the World. You know Vic from the Slackers, and you know, it's like yeah. And I tell him about Nico, and he's like, no, actually, I got both the albums, but I feel a little bit, you know, like you guys. What's the word? Like shysters, you fooled me. And I'm like, how so? And he's like, well, it's called Reggae Works of the World. You know, you got the Aggrolites, Vic has the Slackers, and there's only about like 2 songs that sound like anything like the Slackers or Aggrolites, and the rest of the thing isn't even reggae. And I'm like, then I had to give him the whole explanation of like, you know, how these guys came up with the title.
Sure.
Vic's from New York, I'm from California, Nico's from Belgium. We all work in reggae bands. We all get together once in a great while and record these albums together. And then he's like, "Okay, you sold me. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go listen to these records again and appreciate them more."
It's like I'm not mad anymore.
I'm not mad anymore.
And you know,
we do this.
Yeah,
When we years ago getting with him. We actually on our first album, we have the very opening song is called Memories Walk. And it's about how this whole thing started. It's about us, a place in Germany and Belgium, Berlin called the Franken Bar. And Vic had it was like after a Slackers gig one night, Aggrolites and Slackers played. And he had an acoustic show, you know, after party show at the Franken Bar. And that's how it started with me and him, at least, was he's like, hey, come on up. Do a couple songs, and before you know it, I'm up there all night singing all kinds of stuff with Vic.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we could do this whole ad lib thing. We don't need to stick by a set list or anything. Let's try doing this more often, you know?
I mean, it was then I realized that Jesse was very underused in the Aggrolites.
I don't know.
He was so in there singing Mac the Knife.
Yeah. We're doing
show tunes. And I was like, dude, this guy is like, he can do anything.
And that's the same with Vic. I had no idea. I mean, I always had I always knew how talented Vic was, but just how he's one of those few guys that I could sit down with and not stump him as far as if I'm going to start singing Bing Crosby or if I'm going to start singing something from Little Orphan Annie. Vic's going to know it one way or another. And whether you give Vic a piano or you give Vic a guitar or you give Vic a freaking tuba, he's going to know how to play it.
Yeah. Well,
accordion. One night he just played everything on an accordion. It was no problem. And that's how Nico worked too. It's like Nico could sit there. This guy's very quiet. He doesn't talk much. I mean, he talks, but
we're going to get him to talk in a minute. Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah, you're going to have to get really close because he talks quietly. But it's the same thing with him. Is like it's amazing because me and Vic will be in the studio, you know, down in his studio, just collaborating and making up music together and writing. You know, we write a lot of this stuff on the spot, or a lot of it's just like halfway done ideas that we've kept in our notebook or something, or in our cell phone. And it comes to life here. But Nico can hear something and he just hears our banter back and forth and understands it, where it's like, okay, he knows where to go from a bridge to a chorus to the, you know, or the verse to a chorus to the bridge, and knows exactly where to do those perfect drum fills. And you never have to ask Nico twice to change it up or get into, he just knows intro, outro, and all this stuff. And then before you know it, it's like 2 takes. And we already got the rhythm section done. It's pretty cool stuff.
Nice
working with these guys.
You know, and on the genre side of things, I mean, if you think about it, because I was thinking about this earlier, as you mentioned, how Reggae Workers of the World, not all the songs are reggae. But when you think about, and I'm generalizing, but the Slackers and the Aggrolites, both groups came from the ska scene and are arguably 2 of the biggest bands to come out of that scene, the traditional scene. I know from different coasts, but neither of your bands are real ska bands, right? I mean, in that sense.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of, look at this.
That's the
look at that.
That's the first night that me and Vic actually got together and started.
Yeah, photo courtesy of Jero Snyder, but yes, that was at Vine way back.
That was at the Vine, yeah.
I know.
That was
Love that.
Alex stayed there. That's
Yeah.
when you learned
Amazing.
polka. We were singing polka together. all
Yes,
night.
yes.
Yeah.
So Jesse, touch on life before the Aggrolites. I first met you when you were in Rhythm Doctors and you played Kingston 10. But touch on what you did during those years before.
Well, if they want to know, they could watch episode 16.
Right. So give us a highlight. Come on, top line.
Because I think I talked for about 3 hours on that one about all kinds of goofy stuff. I remember going back going like, man, I talked a lot. Maybe I should have just shut up a bit.
But that's the
Junior
whole
looked like
idea,
he
though.
was- Junior,
We'll give you, hold on, we'll give you
he was
30
falling
seconds.
asleep
Start.
halfway through the interview. Huh?
We'll give you 30
No, I was
seconds. Go.
I was just a kid that liked ska and was going to the ska shows and all that. And Hepcat was the band that really got me into the old school thing. And then by the time I was about 16, that's when we started the Rhythm Doctors, which was, hey, let's try to do what Hepcat's doing, but take it a different avenue. And rather than doing like the old ska stuff with like the 3 guys up front singing and the horn section, let's make it like the Upsetters and let's do like the instrumental skinhead reggae stuff. Because at those ska shows, Greg Lee's the one I think that I used to say this, but at the ska shows, there'd always be the ska bands, and then the DJs would play the old skinhead reggae stuff like in between the bands.
Right.
And everybody be like, man, this is and everybody loved it. Everybody collected the 45s and the skinheads, but nobody was really playing it. So it's when we were like, let's try to be that band. Let's try to go for that kind of thing. Let's put the organ player in the front and showcase him and do a lot of instrumental stuff, because there was plenty of Dynamites, the Crystalites, the Upsetters, and so on and so on. I may could go on for another 15
I remember
minutes.
being knocked out when I saw the Rhythm Doctors.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is great.
Yeah.
Like, I never seen a band do this.
Yeah.
I had seen, Booker T and the MGs did stuff like that.
Right.
But I had never seen a reggae band put the organ, do Jackie Matu style, Upsetter style.
And we had the organ player with the look. He had the afro.
Yeah.
Mark Kwan.
Yeah, he had the
Monster.
He had the
So good.
Hammond, the Portabee, and then he had the 2 Leslie speakers, one on each side. I mean, for the people that were really nerdy into the old reggae stuff, they knew what we were trying to emulate. Emulate, whatever.
Yeah.
But they knew what we were trying to go for. You know what I mean?
Right. So then, how far, in your recollection, how far into when the Aggrolites were active, and obviously we then started working together? When did you and the guys take notice, Jesse, as to more of the dirty reggae or skinhead reggae or aggro reggae type bands popping up around the world? Can you define, like, was there a period where you're like, there's a lot more bands doing this?
Yeah. When we started touring, we were really shocked. And I mean, this is what we wanted. I mean, we put dirty reggae on everything. We slapped it on T-shirts. We slapped it on the album. We made a chant out of it in a song. We were trying to make dirty reggae what Jerry Dammers made two-tone. We wanted it to be its own genre, its own thing. Did we know if it was going to go that far or whatever? I mean, I'm very honored and amazed at how far it's gotten. I mean, when we would go to Europe and there's bands saying that they're dirty reggae bands, that's all we dreamed about. That's all that we cared about. And when we first started, it was like, we're going to go on the road. We're not going to do the typical Ben Sherman, Fred Perry, suit and tie, rude boy thing. We're going to be punk rockers on stage, and we're going to have baseball bats in the album cover. We're going to be these tough aggro guys, and we're going to act like we're pissed off, and we're totally going to just mentally mess people up by looking at us and hearing what we sound like.
Yeah.
That'll be more, and it worked. I mean, it was working all those years. There was bands that were, instead of the band just kind of being laid back in the back of the room just playing, there was more bands with the guys jumping around like the Clash or like the Specials, But no, I'm like really humbled by that, and excited and proud of it at the same time.
Well, it was nice because you know what happened is like you guys provided like a template for people to follow.
True.
We had always been trying to play that beat, and we'd study it, and it was like, I don't know, do we have it? Is it kind of, does it sound right? You know, because you hear that 70s reggae beat, that kind of real fast, choppy beat.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we heard the Aggrolites do it, it was like, oh, okay. Like we're actually watching them do it. And it's like, oh, you can do this. Like this sounds right. You know, and it's funny because until you see somebody do it like in person or hear somebody that you know from your generation, it takes away all the mystery. And, you know, you don't say, well, they were using different instruments. Oh, they used a special studio. Oh, it was the producer. No, it was like, these are guys just like us that are playing the music. And suddenly, we went around Europe, right? And like, there's the Grenadians, there's the Obsessions.
Even like the Aggrolites.
Right.
The Aggro beats.
Everybody puts an ites on the back of their name or Ian.
We stole that from
the Obstepians. Whatever, you know. But everybody was onto it because it was like, oh, here's the Rosetta Stone. This is how you do it.
Right.
And I think Hepcat was another one for us. I remember like with the Slackers, because we had been trying to play roots ska. We were doing it. But when we heard the Hepcat guys do it, it was like, oh, they're really sounding old. It really sounds like the 60s.
They're harmony.
Yeah, and that's the difference with the West Coast and East Coast is on the West Coast, we were really just dissecting those old records and those old bands and all that stuff. But the cool thing I always thought about New York, and I've talked to Vic about this many times, is, you know, they grew up with a lot of Jamaican people. So they just grew up with it. So it kind of, I don't know. It's like we didn't have many Jamaican people as far as I knew, and at least
hardly any musician now.
Yeah, so we had our own scene, and the scene was really all about nerding out to the old stuff.
Right.
So it'd be getting that record, and really, it's all it really comes down to is you got to listen to it in order to play it right.
True.
You can't just be, you got to nerd out on it and sit with it. You can't just be like listening to, you know, having a couple Scatolite records and you know, but your main catalog of music at your house is, you know, Sublime and Slightly Stupid and you know, because you're not going to sound like the Scatolites by listening to Mustard Plug. I mean, just any band that's like not that style, you know what I mean? Like you really got to dig in.
Great point.
And deep on it. The New York guys, I don't think that you guys ever really felt that it was about that, just because you grew up with young Jamaican dudes in your neighborhood. You heard that, like you said, you skinhead wise, you thought that skinheads, you didn't even know that skinheads were racist. Where I grew up, it was the exact opposite. I never knew what a traditional skinhead was until I got into the ska scene. And I was amazed seeing a Mexican guy or a black dude in LA dressed as a skinhead, because I had no idea I didn't know what that was about. I grew up in, the San Bernardino County, where when we thought skinhead or anything, we thought racist, white trash, racist bonehead guys. We didn't know about any of where it really came from until I got in the real scene. Yeah. But I feel you guys grew up with knowing that already, you know, like New York had that culture.
We were lucky because we had the kind of two-tone scene made its way to New York, and there was like offshoots of two-tone that were hanging out.
Right. So
we was connected to the punk scene. It was a very nice, diverse, cool scene. Yeah. And I just happened to look into that. I walked right into it, and I was like, "Oh wow, look at this," you know.
I also think a lot of it is I'm younger. Like I came from a younger.
Yeah, different things happen.
You guys, you were closer to the two-tone era than I was.
Yeah,
you know.
Oh, in the 90s, trying to think about it, the 90s were all about looking back.
Yeah,
exactly. The 90s were all about retro, fine garage music. People were getting into 60s sounds, even the rock and roll. Like, you know, you had the White Stripes suddenly appeared, and the Hives, and bands that were like, oh, we're trying to get this old sound. I mean, I'm sure Europe was the same way, right? It was like things were. Everybody was trying to dig and find some magic. You know.
Well,
I mean,
well,
look, your scene was like. I mean, when we met you, you guys were like, where the hell are these guys come from?
Yeah, it's crazy. You get to Europe and you hear bands like Nico's band. It's like they're already there. They already know it. And that was another cool thing, going to Europe, in Germany, Belgium, and France, and all these places. And the other bands that we were touring with, like Moon Invaders or something, you're hanging out with these guys, and they're listening to like some rare Derek Harriott, or or some rare Clancy Eccles or something, and it's like, these guys know this. This took me forever to find out this guy.
So Nico, talk about the Moon Invaders and the Utopians. Which one came first, for those that don't know, and talk about when they were created.
Moon Invaders came first, like in 1999.
Nico, would you mind?
Low Rasta.
Would you mind? Yeah, there we go. Get a little closer.
See if I can get some volume.
No, you're good. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, so 99, I would say.
Get out of here,
started.
I'm just kidding.
So 99 for Moon Invaders?
Yeah. Utopians is pretty recent. It's
okay.
Maybe 4 years, just after lockdown.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you had to describe the sounds for those two bands.
Moon Invaders was more like ska, rocksteady influence with some New Orleans influence.
Yeah, very funky.
The two singers are from.
The two singers are from New Orleans, right? Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, living in Europe.
Yeah, they moved in Europe like when they were kids.
That's cool.
And when you say ska, you mean traditional ska?
Yeah, traditional ska and rocksteady.
But I'm inclined to believe that's all you have in Europe, traditional ska, right? Like when you say ska in California, it means multiple things. I've gone to see 5 bands and only one song sounded anything close to 54-46. I don't think that's what, when you say ska, you mean.
Yeah, it was traditional ska. Yeah. Europe,
like
late
Aggrolites style.
Yeah.
Right. Not as much. There's not as much ska punk in Europe, right?
There is, but we don't really mix. We don't really play together. Like the scene are
separate scenes.
Yeah.
The only, not to bring it back to with like Aggrolites, but the only places we played for years was like California or San Francisco, and then I think we only went over to the East Coast like once, but we found out that how much more acceptable the European countries are for Jamaican music. We were touring Europe a lot longer and a lot more than we were ever in the US in those days.
Yeah.
And there was like way more of a scene, and it was a culture shock coming to Europe and being like, wow, these guys know this already. Like, it's just like second nature to them. For us, it was like, well, we really had to like, go look.
And
for
that
this
could be
stuff.
attributed to many things. The rain rush. A lot of Jamaicans went to Europe, and more specifically England, and they brought the music with them. So it kind of spread.
Yeah.
Where we didn't have luxury. You guys
didn't
have that luxury here in Southern California.
Yeah, it showed up in the U.S. last. That's for sure, right?
Right. By way of England, I think it came through Two Tone.
Yeah.
Right. So it went to England.
A lot of guys went
there. Then to California.
Yeah.
Well,
it's interesting.
They always thought reggae was going to be the next big thing in the 70s. And
John Lennon said that. He predicted that, but they didn't quite.
Yeah,
I think radio executives and record executives said, no, we ain't gonna make that happen. Too militant.
Yeah.
Bob Marley was lucky to let him get through.
Right. But I think reggae in Europe made it. I think in France, reggae was big. England, obviously, it's big. Germany, a lot of the punk bands,
Spain,
a sort of reggae beat. Belgium, for sure, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's weird. Like my parents being from Cleveland, Ohio in the 1960s, they didn't know anything. They heard ska and reggae thinking it was polka music, and they heard they heard reggae. My dad was thinking it was like circus merry-go-round. Like, he didn't understand it. But they hear My Boy Lollipop and they're like, oh yeah, this song, because it was like one of the big hits in the US.
Right.
Or what, Israelites by the Desmond Decker song. Like that was another one that my parents were like, this is reggae. We grew up with this song. We knew this one. It's like, yeah, this is Jamaican. You know, Johnny Nash doing what do you call it? Hold Me Tight or something. You know,
I can see clearly now.
Yeah, right. I could see clearly now.
Yeah.
Hold Me Tight. Like those songs were recorded in Jamaica, right?
And those were like 5 to 8 years apart, like Millie Small,
those go all the way from the
1968,
60s to the
Desmond
70s.
Decker, then Johnny Nash, like 4 years on. So there's no consistency.
Well,
Nothing
even
to the music.
even a couple years ago, I was in a taxi cab in London, and they were listening to oldies radio, and I heard it was like the Stones, a Stax song, and then like Liquidator. Like I mean, it was all on the same station, which is so cool and hip. We don't hear that here unless it's one of you all DJing or something, But like, it's wild.
Same thing. I heard too. The Upsetters were the bed music for the weather in England.
Oh, they were. Or they were also the wake up music or something.
It was like Return of Django was the background music for the weather, and I was like, what? This blew my mind.
No, there's like a story behind that 5 to 5 song too.
Yeah.
Where it was like the alarm clock for.
Yeah, it was the end of the workday.
The end of the workday or something. It's 5 to 5, and I would play that on the radio.
Right. Junior, I think you had a question for Nico.
Yes, I think so. Let's talk about the origins of the Badasonic Records and some of the recent releases that you have on the label.
Okay. So the origin is that I put together a band that was called the Badasonics, and we did an album with a singer called Cass Gardner, and we just tried to find a label. We couldn't find one, so we just said, let's put it by ourselves, and that's how the label was created.
Wow!
So the label is
that?
all three of you guys on the label?
It's only 2 of us. A friend Rio from Berlin. No, he lives in Berlin, but he's Belgian.
So why are your American friends excluded?
Because they didn't put any money in it.
We're just freeloaders.
Yeah, we're just freeloaders that stay at his house every year or so.
Right. So Nico, what year did Badasonic start?
I think 2017 or 18.
Okay. And
you gotta ask him, Eric, you gotta ask him how the name Badasonic came about.
Yeah.
How did the name Badasonic come about?
Because of a barber I know.
A barber. Because I guess I used to always say, "Oh man, that's badass," or "This is badass."
I thought that's what it was at first. I'm struggling with the.
Nico was like, "Badass." What does badass mean? Badass, and I was like, "Oh, badass." It's like, it's cool. That's
right.
awesome.
Right.
Badass.
So Nico, staying with you, how healthy is the ska and rocksteady scene in I guess Benelux or say Europe for better, your region for better, or lack of a better
Belgium is not
definition,
really,
right?
To be honest, in Belgium,
it's not healthy.
No, it's not. We have maybe 2 or 3 bands.
So is it dying, fading, going to be at the dinosaur, or it's stable?
Yeah, it's dying, I think.
Dying.
And in Germany, in Germany too. It's still good in France and in Spain, a little bit orange, but in Belgium, it's almost dead.
And is that because? Do you think that's because some of the bands that used to exist have broken up and there's not new bands, or are the bands that are out there just not getting enough shows and helping this grow, and or not enough slackers and aggrolites coming over?
Yeah. I don't know. It's still a mystery for me, because the bands like the Slackers or Aggrolites, they can do still good shows in Belgium, but not us.
It's crazy though. I mean, to think about it, you like the bands that you've been a part of have honestly been the guys carrying it for your country. I mean, That's really cool. From '99 or what'd you say? The Moon Invaders,
'99.
Cara Legions, like these are like the bands that are from Belgium that really were doing it. So you guys have always carried that torch since the '90s, which is pretty damn cool.
Moon Invaders was
Yeah.
my favorite band like in the world.
Yeah, Moon Invaders, you got to check them out. Like
Yes.
the vocalists, the two brothers are, like he said, they got New Orleans. They moved out here, but they grew up as kids, right? They moved out here when they were young, teenagers or younger even.
Younger.
But they have that New Orleans culture roots or whatever,
Right,
to where
right.
the guys got their harmonies are beautiful. Like, check out the Moon Invaders. It's
Yes.
really good.
I will check
I've
it.
listened to
Cara
that.
Legions too. Nico's band after the Moon Invaders, the Cara Legions, is they touch on some really, really cool genres of Jamaican music.
All right, I'm gonna check them out as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they were on the Skinhead reggae vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Great.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of the kind of stuff that Aggrolites and rhythm doctors were,
Right.
Yeah. Nico is the multi-talented. You played organ.
Yeah, you played organ and
Multi instrumentalist.
yeah, this guy's as far as not just drumming. I mean, a sound engineer. He's got his studio downstairs is amazing, and he's built it all on his own. It's all analog.
Oh wow!
It's an amazing studio, really. And he learned a lot from Vic Rice, right, from New York.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
So-
Good. Yeah. Jesse and Vic, talk about you share a couple of highlights and experiences of working with Tim Armstrong, because I know you both have over the years. In fact, Vic, you toured and played with the Slackers, even played Lollapalooza, right?
Yeah, I was with Rancid after they put out that Out Come the Wolves record.
Yep.
And I toured with them on that record. And then after that, for the next couple of records I was real involved. And then a lot of the Slackers actually were involved in making that Life Won't Wait record. And then after that, I kept playing on albums for them. But, touring here and there, but not so much. It was really the Out Come the Wolves and Life Won't Wait era that I was really busy with.
And then how many Slackers albums were released on Hellcat?
Oh, Hellcat. Well, we did 3 for the first contract, and then maybe 2 more afterwards, 2 or 3.
Oh.
So probably 5 or 6.
Right.
And then, maybe more actually. We put the live record out, and we did a lot. Maybe 5, 6, 7 records on Hellcat.
Impressive.
They were good to us. They gave us because they didn't know what to do with us at all. They were completely confused. We had utter creative control.
Right. Which is always
nobody had an opinion on anything we were doing. They were just like, we don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
We said, sure, good,
And then inclusion on the Give 'Em the Boot compilations, which were great introductions.
Yeah.
For a lot of fans to discover you. So
yeah.
And then Wags, obviously you and your aggro brethren backed up Tim on his solo album, which was great.
Oh, well, that's these guys. I was asking him about that. I was asking Jesse about that, just this trip.
Yeah, and I got to say, it was a lot like Vic just said. We were that one band on the label that was playing there. We got full creative control to do whatever we wanted because we weren't playing just the punk rock or psychobilly.
Right.
And hey, do that thing you do.
Yeah. Well, that's
thing.
So when we got in the studio with Tim. Really cool experience. He just came in with an acoustic guitar and showed us the songs, and we're like, "Well, what would you like us to do?" And he says, "Make it dirty reggae." That was it.
Yeah.
Make it dirty reggae. And they
tell me dirty reggae is the hot sound of the summer.
Make it happen. He didn't say that.
Make it happen.
But he did say,
Wagner.
"Make it dirty reggae." And we made it as dirty reggae as we could, and he'd go in the vocal booth and just kind of scratch vocal, like guide us throughout from chorus to verse to chorus.
Right.
And everything we did was just like, okay, how do we do this? Okay, and we had our own language. We always have our own language, like most bands do.
Yeah.
They make this Papa Top style, or let's do like the Blood and Fire rhythm, or let's kind of do it this way or that way. And we just do different styles of like stuff we always wanted, to put on a record, but in his chords and his songs. And then by the end of the session or whatever, it was like, okay, here it goes. Here you go, Tim. And it sounded like an Aggrolite record, you know, with just because it was all just us with no vocals.
Right.
And then we heard with the rest of the world the outcome of it, and it was like, wow, this guy really, he took this and he put that magic,
Sure, yeah,
touch that Tim Armstrong has,
right,
and he really did a justice and like took this thing and made it radio worthy, you know.
I mean,
And
into action got a lot of radio play.
yeah, it became like a big summer hit on K-Rock. I think that's what Tim said. I mean,
Yeah.
Vic was joking around because it was a K-Rock summer hit for 1 year, and
What was cool is that almost had like a kind of two-tone feel to it.
it did, yeah.
And it was like, oh, you guys are doing your thing, but you're also kind of like, you know, doing this two-tone-y kind of party vibe.
That was actually I think that was the one song that we didn't do fully. It was like kind of like there was like, I remember part of the song, Corey's our drummer, and another part of the song, Scott Abels is the drummer. Like they did a lot of studio tricks on that one, you know, like adding this and adding that and overdubbing stuff.
Look at that Motley crew.
Oh yeah, that's the weenie roast. Yeah, that was the weenie roast.
Find this for
Yeah.
But no, that record, it's pretty cool too, because or what a lot of people don't know is we recorded that Tim album before we did the self-titled one.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Right.
interesting.
And then that album actually came out like a year or two after. So people don't realize that we recorded those two albums within the same week.
Oh, wow.
And like I said before, when Tim came in the studio, it was like we booked our studio to do the self-titled record. He said, hey, I want to come in. So we booked him like before we started on the Aggrolite music. And we didn't know we were doing an album for him. He just said, I want to do some stuff with you guys. Like nobody knew it was going to be a record. He never talked about it being an album or anything back then. And by the time that he left and we gave him the music, we were like, oh shit, now we're out of ideas for our own stuff. Now, what are we going to do now? We were bummed out because not bummed, but we were like, what are we going to do? And it's funny because a lot of songs on that self-titled, you can hear a lot of the same, you know, I wouldn't say not melodies, but rhythmic patterns and stuff like that, where it's like, you can tell it's the same session, but they were just released so far from each other.
Right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I can see how that can happen. I remember what started the war with Prince Buster and Derek Morgan was this. I think the musicians played the same riff, you know, going from studio to studio, recorded Derek Morgan, and then went to do some recording for Prince Buster. Prince Buster said, "That's my riff." You know, because people have, you know, your ideas are limited, especially if you're recording so many songs within one day or even one.
Oh yeah, those guys
not a
wake up in the
repetition.
morning
Yeah,
shoot out like
time.
15, 20 rhythms a day and have to constantly be creative every day of the week.
Yeah, it is. Right? Unless one exception, you're done drumming.
Yeah. It's funny. We were just talking the other day on a drive to one of the gigs about Derek Morgan and Prince Buster and their rivalry and their, you know, them being mad at each other. A lot of it had to do with who is it? Who was saying? The producer,
Leslie Kong.
Leslie Kong. A lot of it was because of Leslie Kong,
and Prince Buster, but it was high.
Well, yeah, but because
they were friends.
Yeah, but then
the first time Derek went to England, Prince Buster was supposed to go and send Derek, but people didn't know that. So Prince Buster said, "Oh, this is good for selling record."
Yeah.
So it kept going until I guess the Prime Minister had to intervene.
And those two ended up becoming really good friends.
But they were friends before, because Derek Morgan was the one who took Prince Buster to the recording studio the first time. His very first set of records.
He took Buster first, huh? Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, okay. Buster said to Derek Morgan, "I have some money. I want to get into the recording business." And Derek Morgan took Monty Morris, and they made a whole bunch of records that day.
Wow. Okay.
That's how Prince Buster got his start.
I love talking to Junior.
Huh? No,
I love talking to you, hanging out with you.
Well, I mean,
I'm glad I know you. I'm glad you live in LA.
Yeah.
I'm glad you moved from New York to LA.
We all do. We all are very glad. Yes. And Jesse, one of the few, if maybe only, how many contemporary bands or artists have worked with both Buster and Derek Morgan? Aggrolites are.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Well, that's where we got to hear the crazy stories. I mean, we backed up Derek first. Or no, did we back up Buster first? I don't remember.
No,
Well,
Derek,
members
Derek
of
first.
members of the Aggrolites before the
Derek
Aggrolites
first.
backed up Derek at the whiskey.
Mhm.
But I think maybe
Oh no, yeah. That was the Rough and Tough All Stars.
right. Yeah.
It was like half Hepcat, half
Right.
Aggrolite.
Right.
But we both Aggrolites backed both though.
Yeah.
Like
Correct.
we played with Derek Morgan as the Aggrolites.
Right. Yes. And then
we played
Rhythm
with
Doctors
Prince
back Prince Buster first, and then Aggrolite second up that Sierra Nevada, right?
Yeah.
No.
But I wasn't with the Rhythm Doctors when they backed up Buster. I quit before then.
Okay. Got it.
That was just Corey and Mark Kwan only, and then they had other guys like hired dudes.
No, but he came the second. He came twice.
Yes.
Back to-
Yeah. Second time Aggrolites.
Yeah, we backed on the
Year
second
number
time.
two.
The Aggrolites.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
Rhythm
one.
Doctors
That's
was the
one
first
thing
one.
I take credit for. Getting Prince Buster on the West Coast.
Oh man, well thank you for that because
that was a task.
for me.
I had to sell that to Warren. He was a good man. I really had to
Yeah.
sell. I said, Warren, there's one artist alive now, one Jamaican artist that people are willing to travel from across the 52 states and Europe to see, and Australia.
Mhm.
I said, who? I said, I'm sorry, Prince Buster. Say you think so? I say, I know so.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right
Yeah,
on.
it's true. Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Yeah.
Junior, you have the next question.
Yeah, I want to ask, I guess this is a question for all about the amazing Greg Lee. We lost him, I think, is it a year now? Approximately a year now, right?
A little over. Yeah.
In your opinion, what sort of impact Greg and Hepcat had on the scene and his personality, his songwriting skills, and so forth and so on? I know we talked briefly about him, but maybe a little more in-depthly for all three.
With Greg,
You guys
for
slip
me,
into
was-
unconsciousness? I mean, I thought.
Yeah, that guy was like my hero. You know, a huge mentor, and just that's the guy I grew up watching.
Yeah.
And then being able to get to know him, become his friend, and then being treated like a little brother for years, and then being asked to play with him in his own band, I can't even, express what the guy meant to me.
Yeah.
But definitely for our whole scene, he's like the Superman of ska for at least the LA scene, and I would say a lot of the rest of the world. I mean, he was a big guy, and not just with the ska thing, with the whole mod and scooter scene, and even with the skinheads and the anti-racism. Like, I mean, that guy was like one of the head leaders of like anti-racist skinhead groups and stuff like that back in the 80s. So I mean, that guy he was just kind of like this unbelievable dude that was, he was never not on point with this subculture of music. He always had the best dressed clothes. He always had the charm, the charisma. He knew how to talk. He knew how to dance. The guy was just like the birth of cool. That's who am I thinking? What's his name? The trumpet player. Yeah, Miles Davis. But I mean, he was the cool of the old school ska. That whole thing to me.
Yeah.
There were.
Go ahead,
Rick.
Rick,
did you get a chance to know him well or work with him on any level?
We always felt a lot of kinship and camaraderie with the Hepcat guys because our sax player Dave, he came from Hepcat.
Right.
And he was out there playing. He's from San Diego and played in the LA scene a bunch, lived out there. And when he came to New York, it was like, oh, this is, he was kind of hiding out. It was like, oh, it's a sax player from Hepcat. And he ended up playing with us. And it was like, okay, cool. So we had like the missing link between the East and the West Coast,
right. Yes.
Dave, but no, I remember when I first went out there, Dave says, oh, you guys are going out California. I was like driving somebody west. He said, you got to hang out with Greg and Alex. You'll love them, man. They're cool guys. And I was like, yeah, cool. I was like, Hepcat. They're trying to do the same, or they're doing the same thing that we're trying to do, which is, kind of dig back and play this old school sound. Yeah, I felt like we always clicked. Mm-hmm. And Alex too. Alex is a New Yorker originally.
Right.
Yes.
And yeah, it was funny. It was like there was definitely a lot of kinship. We always looked at each other like, and I mean, Hepcat was so smooth and put together. And I remember we did a tour with them.
Oh,
and we were like every night. It was like an early tour for the Slackers, And I think Hepcat hadn't been out too much in the U.S. So it was, new for them. It was new for us. Mm-hmm. And every night, we had to bring our top game, A game, And we just thought, man, we're just holding on by the fingernails, And then years later, we find out that Hepcat was like, oh, man, you guys were stressing us out, man. We really had to play like a real shit every night. We couldn't slouch. And I was like, you felt like that about us.
Right. You each made it better. Yeah.
Yeah, it made, and my God, what a I mean, the shows were like epic.
I'm sure.
But I think that was the thing. We felt it was push and pull, and like you were saying about the different vibes in the West and East Coast, who's doing something more trad, and us, we're trying to kind of push out, but we're also trying to really dig into the same sound.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful thing to know these guys.
But you guys came from that era where it was just popping for a while. I mean, you even said it yourself.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember it was yesterday or the day before, but you're like, I guess we had it really good in those days. Coming from that era or that.
It was happening. It was a moment.
Yeah,
it was happening.
Yeah, I mean, things were on TV. There was music videos. There was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know about radio being that popular, but that ska scene was.
Yeah. I remember when
pretty big in the early '90s and all that, and like that was back in the day when bands like Hepcat could get on MTV.
We were playing with Hepcat on one of those big festivals, whether it was Warped Tour or one of those big festival scenes. And I remember watching them and thinking, well, if Hepcat doesn't break through, if they don't get it, then I'm off the hook, because no way am I going to be the one that makes it. Like these guys got the look, the style, the dance, the everything.
Harmony.
And I was like,
everything.
You know what I mean? It was like I'm off the hook if they don't make it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because then again back at us, I was telling them that one time, and they were like, "Oh no, we always thought your sound was much more accessible than Hepcat because you guys mixed it up and you wrote like Beatles songs."
That's how I felt. That's how all of us felt about it.
Which to me was like what? Like mind blowing. I thought you guys actually thought that we had a chance, because I felt like, nah, you guys are it.
Mutual.
And I think Hellcat actually thought that the Pie Tasters were the ones that had the best.
Interesting.
Because they were a bit more soul and rock and roll.
Yeah.
Wow. And I remember they gave them a real push. And then I don't know what happened with them. I think those guys were
they're still around.
They're still around. But I think with their push, I think they gave it a shot, and then they were like, we don't know where it's going.
I think about the unexpected moments, and Jesse, I've told this to you, but when you and Haley got married, and I have video clips of this, but on stage at the El Rey Theater to see the Slackers, Hepcat, Aggrolites, and of course this man right here, Linville Golding.
Yeah.
I mean,
what a nice.
I mean, Jesse, I know you will never forget your wedding because it was your wedding. You'll never forget that. Also, because the performance was just, I mean, it just truly magical. And to see, obviously Greg was up there, Alex and Vic, but it was, just amazing.
I wanted to ask Nico if he had the opportunity to interact with Greg on any level.
I met him only once.
Just once. Oh.
With Reggae Workers.
Unfortunately, he's a great guy.
But I listened to him a lot.
He's almost like 10% in one.
Who was? That's right. Greg went out to Europe with Western Standard Time, and Reggae Workers were on the.
Right.
We were on that same Freedom Sounds Festival. Where in Germany? Something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So he got to meet him there. Yeah. I forgot all about that. That was
yeah.
I I was supposed to go sing a song with them or something, but it was so early in the day. And I was like, there's no way I could hit those notes right now. I was singing with these guys, and I'm like, hey, I could sing. This is my key. But the Western Standard Time was singing in a key that was real high. I remember when I recorded with them. And I was like, guys, I'm just going to dip out over here. I'm like, I appreciate that you asked, but no way I can manage it.
Yeah. Well, we're all.
You know what's funny? Nico played with the Moon Invaders and a lot of your bands that backed up a lot of reggae acts.
Oh, yeah.
Give me some examples.
Yeah,
Some for instance.
List goes on.
It's a long list.
All right, just rattle off some names.
rattle off some.
Yeah, give it to him.
Alton Ellis, Ken Boo,
Oh,
Lee Scratch Perry,
that,
Winston
you guess.
Francis, the Pioneers,
Wow.
Rico Rodriguez, Aaron
Wow.
Sheffer,
My
Pat
God,
Kelly.
what an honor that must have been. And
Wow.
it's
He's
incredible.
more than that.
Owen Gray.
Owen Gray.
Yes.
Um,
Derek Morgan?
no, not there.
Did you do the Gay Lads or
No.
no?
And Nico, were these throughout, some of them throughout Europe? Some of these throughout
Sorry?
Europe?
All of them throughout Europe.
Right, but not just
Yeah,
in
they were
Belgium,
all-
but in various countries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, Spain, France.
Yeah.
That's
Derek
impressive.
Arias,
Eric Harriet even. Jeez.
Yeah.
Keith and Tex,
Keith and Tex.
Oh, yeah.
Rudy Mills.
Rudy Mills.
You are, the go-to.
The list is endless.
Yeah. So
I mean, yeah, that's what did you just name? About 25?
yeah.
Crazy. Like, okay, so I don't want to give anything away because we actually got to get back to it right
No,
now.
no, and that's what I was going to ask you about.
We're in the middle of a break, like in the studio.
Yeah.
But there's a song that I've always wanted to do, and we're going to do it. And it's by a particular Jamaican artist. And
Alright.
it's like, I thought this was a really rare, I've tried to find like the rarest rocksteady song that
Yes.
I don't think anybody would know. And Nico's like, oh yes, I backed him up. I know him. I'm friends with him on what is WhatsApp. We WhatsApp each other all the time. He's like, maybe we can have him sing it instead of you.
That sounds great. Okay, so speaking of the recording, so we can bring this to an end here. When can fans expect to hear any of the new recordings, and how many songs?
Right now, we recorded 12. Might be more, but we got 12 so far, and that's only just the last couple days of recording. But
Yeah, I hope we will release that next year around April. So,
Okay.
because we have a Europe tour next year.
All right.
yeah, next year, can I talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so it's really awesome. Badasonic Records is going to put it out, which they put out our last one.
Yep.
And as Vic was saying earlier about how we did that tour with the Bandulus and the Slackers and all that, and we were all in the States. Nico's putting it together where it's kind of like the Bandulus is going to perform, but we're going to do what we did in the States, where it's like all of us together. So it'll be like a big month. I don't know, close to a month, 3 weeks or something, going all over.
Amazing.
A lot of
Review almost.
yeah, it's like a review band almost, where
Mhm.
everybody's going to just kind of play. And a lot of the same people are going to be on stage all night, you know.
That's super cool.
So it's going to
So
be a really cool tour. And but
before we
that's
put
when we're
this
hoping
stopper
to
on,
be out.
I know you
What's
guys
that?
have to go. So before we put the stopper on, before we bring to things to a
Yeah.
finality, what you guys will be doing in the next couple of weeks or perhaps month?
Yeah, for the rest of the year.
What
Vic,
each will be doing? What project you're working on individually?
touring, anything.
Well, I'm going back to play with my group. I got a New York group called the Mooks that plays a lot of old. It's like a doo-wop punk band. It's just me and this other guy doing that. And then the Slackers are going to start up in September again, and we'll be busy from September all the way through Christmas. Out on the West Coast, out on the East Coast, Chicago, Austin, Texas. So we're like, look at the schedule, and we'll be bouncing around.
Yeah, we'll see you. We'll see
Yeah,
you.
I think you guys are out here sometime in December, right? Just before Christmas.
Yeah, we'll be out there for a solid, I think coming down the whole West Coast for about a week or so.
Vic, I have to say quickly, last December when I saw you at House of Blues Anaheim, Well, I always love your set, but when you guys did the Boogaloo little couple songs, that was so super cool and hip. I really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
That really
That's,
was.
that whole like Subway Joe kind of thing. Or whatever.
Yeah.
That was.
Well, like I said, we know that the music goes in all directions. It's all a part.
That was a highlight. Wags, what about you?
I'm going straight from Belgium on Thursday, flying to Buffalo to meet up with the Aggrolites, and we're playing a Buffalo Ska Festival out there. And then the following day, the Aggrolites are playing in Toronto. Mm-hmm. It's all the dates are on the Aggrolites website, aggroreggae.com or Instagram or any of that, because I don't know off my head at the moment.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I think you're playing St. Rock, and then you're doing a solo thing in Las Vegas for Soulside.
And then we're doing St. Rock. Oh yeah, I'm doing that solo. That's going to be
Labor Day weekend.
Soul Invasion.
Yeah,
Soul Invasion in Las Vegas, and Junior's going to be there with us too. Junior's going to be right.
Looking forward.
Jesse, you have the task. You got to watch Junior in Las Vegas. I don't know if I trust him.
I'll keep an eye on him. Don't worry.
I definitely need that.
And then Jesse, you and I exchanged some texts. Hopefully, we're going to see you at a little other Ska Mania sessions coming up here in the fall here in Orange County.
That's the 4th. I think it's the 4th.
5th of October as a team.
October 5th or 4th.
And then and then Nico, anything that you want to plug?
I have some shows with the Utopians coming in Belgium, mostly in Germany, and a lot of studio works like mixing.
All right.
Album, Bandus.
Wonderful.
Yeah, the Bandus just left and they did a full on album. So
that might be coming out, right? Huh? Even Leah's coming out.
And Leah, the singer of the Bandus, she's coming to record a solo album.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, really appreciate you guys. I know you got to get back to recording. Nico, thank you for taking care of our American friends here, Vic and Jesse.
And thanks to everyone. And please remember to subscribe to the podcast series on our YouTube channel and follow us at History of LA Ska on Instagram and join our Facebook group. It's very important. This series is produced by Rockery Radio and more specifically Eric Kohler. Gentlemen.
Jesse, next time I see you, maybe I will do the skin fade that you talked about.
Yeah. High and tight.
Yes, indeed. Vic,
so, Jesse, you have to find a way to
make myself stay young looking like you.
No. Play music round the clock 24 hours. So you just focus. Your focus is on music. You have to find out.
So you're saying I'm a bad barber.
Monetize. How do you monetize your work as a musician?
Diversify is good. Jesse, I see you happy when you cut hair. This is good.
Huh?
Yeah. I guess. I'm happy.
How do you monetize your skills as a musician? I don't know.
That's the
no. I know what you mean. Thank you. I wish I could do it like Vic, but I don't know.
Well, Vic, we'll see you in the Slackers out here this year. And thank you. Glad you finally got the chance to talk to you, Vic. Jesse, always a pleasure. Nico, great to meet you. And Junior, thank you as always. And we encourage everyone to please do your part to celebrate and preserve the scene. And I'll leave you with this. Come on out, put on your dancing shoes, and enjoy yourself. So much love and be well, everyone. Take care now.
And thank you guys for everything. Thanks for. I know we don't really get to talk about Reggae Workers of the World too much. We got all our own bands. So you guys, this is actually one of the first podcasts we've ever done. So
fantastic.
Thank you for the time and all that. Thank you.
We have to promote the album when it comes out.
We will. We'll spread the word. All right, guys. Take care now.
Good enough.
Bye-bye.
All right.